People, what's going on? What's going on, everyone? It's showtime. It is showtime. Um, let's have a quick read of. It's chilly in here, Even in the studio, it's a bit chilly. I'm running late. I just turned the heater on, and it's still cold. Um, boy, what a night of boxing! What a night of boxing! I just watched the fight again. I'll say just about an hour ago, just to make sure that I scored it right. Because when I was watching the fight live, I thought Kambosos won, but I was like, did Kambosos really win that fight? Let's watch it again. And Kambosos definitely won that fight. He won that fight by a couple of rounds. So well done to ferocious Kambosos Jr. What a fantastic performance. What a fantastic performance. All right, let's do what we normally do. Let's wait for a few people to get in to the live. But as we're doing that, let's say hello to a few people. Who's in? John, is that Dian? Billy Bob Joe, based on what? What was your analysis? I don't know what that means. JD says, did you see Pulev versus Mir? I did. We'll talk about that if anyone wants to in a few minutes. I guess this is going to be dominated by Kambosos and Teofimo and Devin Haney and Lomachenko talk. Basically, the lightweight talk, really, isn't it? Dan Brown says, hi, Ade. Teofimo Lopez arrogance let him down. Started to believe in his punching power hype. I hope this fight isn't like Broner Maidana. Well, in a sense that kind of was the end of Broner. I don't think so. I think Teofimo's I don't think he lives the life like Broner does, put it that way. So I think he'll be okay. Tony Canaris says, I'm part Greek descent. This guy was no Horner, Cedas, or French, but tremendous. Skilled boxer with decent power that takes anyone out. Lopez shows pride and arrogance, comes at a full big mouth. Strong words. When you said French, do you mean Fennec? Sorry, Fennec, the Australian boxer that fought Azuma Nelson. Is that what you're referring to? I think that might be. Ghetto Genius says, why is it a shock? Kambosos was a good operator. Go back through his fights. No. I'm not having that. It was a shock. Come on. You can tell by the reaction of the world, it was a shock. If it wasn't a shock, no one would be going crazy. It's a shock when everyone loses their mind. That was a shock. That was the biggest upset in boxing this year. It's bigger upset than it was even a bigger upset than Kiko Martinez, Kid Galahad, just because Kiko Martinez was like just one punch that landed. It wasn't like Kiko was dominating the fight and winning it and had to get up off the canvas. This was a fantastic performance, and it was definitely a big shock. Teofimo Lopez was a 13-1 on favorite. It's a huge shock. Again, just because I think last week it made sense how we did this, where when the super chats come in, I quickly read them and then we go back to the order again. So what was the last one? The last one was Ghetto Genius. Okay. Because I always miss out on the super chats and I feel bad for doing it. Ash I says, big up Ade. The zone shows in the last 2-3 months have proven to be full of drama, great value for money. I guess like the zone almost in a weird way, it's kind of just worked out well for them, like kind of weirdly, right? Like this wasn't even supposed to be on DAZN. Remember, this was all over the place. It was Triller, it was Top Rank, all over the place. And because of Triller's mess, DAZN got it. And I don't know. I'm not American based, so I'm not quite sure how big this fight was in America. Would it have got a lot of sign-ups? But I'm guessing it would have. And even if it didn't, I think because of the way this ended, I think Devin Haney, Jojo Diaz might as well. And you know what? Before we go on, this is the award I want. Can you see it's all smudged because I've been showing it to everyone. Audio Productions Award 2021, Best New Voice, Ade Oladipo. Yeah, your boy won that. All right, let's go back to where we were. Where were we? What one did we leave? Okay. Oh, that was me. Look at me. I'm putting my own chat up. What's this one? Boxing Universe. Teofimo Senior crying about fighting on DAZN. Kissing Top Rank ass after slating them since 2020. If you love Top Rank so much, why did they not agree a deal at a smaller purse? It's difficult to get into all that stuff, but I think Teofimo Senior just his behavior for the last couple of weeks has been just abysmal. It's been awful. Like just the way in which he's handled himself. And the way in which he handled himself in the corner yesterday was a joke. I mean, the last thing you want in the corner, if I'm a fighter anyway, is the guy in front of me panicking and shouting instructions that make no sense. Like literally just almost contradicting himself all the time. You take that and you go and listen to Kambosos' corner where it's calm, the instructions are clear and obvious. And sometimes, to be fair, look, I sometimes don't even believe the fighters take those instructions because there's so much adrenaline going through their head. But at the same time, you want clear, concise instructions, man. And Teofimo Lopez Sr.'s instructions were awful. Like, honestly, like, just bad. And you think this is supposed to be a top level trainer. This is the guy that trained his son to beat Loma. And these are the instructions, like far too emotional. And yeah, as much as Teofimo Lopez wasn't great yesterday, his dad cost him that fight as well. His dad's instructions were awful, man. Like just shocking. Like a disgrace, a big disgrace, honestly. Super chat here from Yusuf Siley. Have I pronounced that correctly? I think I might not have. Apologies if I haven't. Props to Kambosos. He was hugely underestimated. I feel like Tio's corner had no game plan yet. His dad's had no strategy. Instead, he kept ranting. Bad corner advice. Yeah, again, look, it depends how much stock you put into corner advice. I mean, there's some guys out there, in the history of boxing that have had, like Nazim Richardson, fantastic corner advice, almost scary. Manny Stewart, obviously, we know, great corner advice. Teofimo Lopez's dad, awful. Like, awful. And then they had the nerve after to say they thought they won the fight and it was a disgrace. The zone cheated them. And I was like, what are you talking about? And you know what upsets me most is Loma did this when Loma beat Teofimo. Loma was like, I thought I won the fight. And I felt like Loma let himself down. So I thought that at least Teofimo's people would have learned from what Loma did, because you're going to get a lot of stick. Even when Teo interrupted Kambosos' interview and said, I thought I won the fight 10-2, and the crowd started booing him. His own crowd started booing him. Like you lose a lot of respect handling a loss like that, a lot of respect. And I always feel like it's tough when fighters get interviewed after fights anyway, because I still think they're a bit concussed. They don't know what they're saying. It's the heat of the moment. And hopefully Teo can watch that fight back and just maybe release a statement like today, not the statement he's released straight after the fight, but another statement just saying, what, got beat by the better guy, I'll be back stronger, blah, blah, blah. Props to Kambosos. He was better than I thought he was, all that kind of stuff, because the way in which they handled that loss, both father and son, ain't a good look. You can lose a lot of friends like that in the sport of boxing, a lot of friends. Alexander Wilson says, it looked like Kambosos had a great game plan, Jab, left, jab, hook off the jab, counter with the overhand right. Lopez, yeah. You could see they like Kambosos, even when under fire. This is what makes me more impressed with the Kambosos performance. Even when under fire, and he was under severe fire in that first round, and in particularly round 8 and 10, he still kept to his game plan. Even when he got knocked down and got up, yes, he had to weather a storm for about 30 seconds, but after that, still kind of doing that Philly shell, very smart of his work, engine. I'm a fan. I'm on the Kambosos train. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the way in which he handled himself in the build-up, where he was almost felt like he was dealing with Teofimo's dad, the way in which he handled himself during the fight, the adversity he went through in that fight, the kahunas to get up from that knockdown in round 10 and weather the storm. Everything about him, there's a superstar there. Honestly, there's a superstar. And I like what he said in the aftermath as well. Like, if these guys want to fight me, they're going to have to come to Australia to fight me, because I'm not, I've done fucking hopping around to other people's backyards. They need to come to my back garden. His last 3 fights have been in America, Mickey Bay, obviously the UK, Lee Selby, and America against Teofimo Lopez. He deserves a homecoming fight. Hopefully he gets one. Again, guys, remember, I'm just going to quickly read out the super chats and then we're going to get back to form, yeah? DP44 super chat, thank you very much, brother. Says, congrats on the award, mate. You say face for radio and all that. Take that congrats back. What a fight. Kambosos wouldn't be denied, but Tio will be back. Too good not to be. Yeah, Tio will be back. He might have to make some tough decisions. I think his dad's got to go. I know that's a bit rash and a bit reckless, because his dad produced one of the biggest upsets of last year, beating Loma, but his dad is a mess. Like, all that like that hype before the fight, all that. I don't know what that does. I just feel like you need someone to be calm. You need calmness around you. All that nonsense is just get rid of it. Honestly, get rid of it. But it'll be interesting to see what he does. Obviously, look, he says he's going to fight at 140. There is no rematch clause, which is crazy, but there's no rematch clause in the contract. So yeah, he's going to go to 140 and we'll see what he does. Look, he's kind of got the name. I know he's coming off a loss, but he's still got a bit of name value where he could go straight in against Josh Taylor. He could. I don't think he will get that. I think he'll, that's deep waters to go straight from a loss to potentially another loss. But I mean, he's a big enough name. But yeah, he'll be back. He's young enough. But already the splinters are in there now for the so-called Four Kings. Let's see what bloody Devin Haney can do next week. But I appreciate the super chat. I don't appreciate the face for radio comment. Callum Prout says, do you think this makes Selby's loss to Kambosos a bit better with how he beat Lopez? Not really. Not really. Styles make fights. I don't think it's as simple as that. I saw Lee Selby's manager tweet something like that as well, but I don't think so. And that was a year ago as well. I'd be good to see what is Lee Selby doing? He's not officially retired or anything, has it? Because that was his last fight. But it'd be interesting to see if Lee can capitalize on that. The fact that, I lost and it was a split decision to the guy that is now the undisputed lightweight king or the unified lightweight king. So yeah, look, it's good for Lee, but I think stars make fights, if I'm honest with you. So I don't think that matters too much. Another final one here. Many congratulations on your award, brother. Thank you very much, Will. Also, Teo needs to ditch his dad and his ego. Yeah, Teo's ego is horrible. Like, I look, it's weird because egos sometimes help sell fights, right? That kind of it helps, but you've got to be humble in fucking in your losses. You've got to be. It's difficult. It must be difficult to be, but you can't come and interrupt an interview when a man's talking about this fight is dedicated to his grandfather that passed a couple of months a couple of months ago, and then you come up and say you won the fight 10-2. In fact, he said 11-2 initially, didn't he? And then you say you won the fight 10-2. What? How can you? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? It reminded me a bit of. Do you remember when that girl Jamie Mitchell came and beat Shannon Courtney, and Shannon Courtney thought she won the fight, and Jamie Mitchell says, "Look at your face." And I think Kambosos said that as well. Kambosos said, "Look, you're delusional." That was my Australian accent, by the way. He said, "You're delusional. Look at your face." and immediately I looked at Teo's face and I was like, "Geez." Teo got bashed up. He did. He had some good rounds, but he got bashed up in there. I had it a couple of rounds to Kambosos. I think Kambosos was really, really good. All right, let's we've got another quick. Sorry guys, we've got another super chat. I have to read these because I miss them and it's not nice, is it? HB says, thank you so much for super chat. It says, after the press conference and weigh-in, I saw Kambosos had that look in his eyes and Tia was believing in his own hype, acted a fool. I put 2,000 on Cam to win on points. Haven't slept since. No way did you put 2 grand down. I'm not having it. Not that I don't believe you, but I don't believe you. But look, Kambosos lived up to everything he said he was going to do. I mean, he lived up to it all. And that has to be, there's been some fantastic Australian boxers over the years, like really good ones, but I can't think of a better win than that, Like some people in recent times were talking about the Horn Pacquiao. Nah, man, that was a Pacquiao that, was on the way out. This is a Teo that is right there. Pound for pound, top 6. Teofimo Lopez, think about that, is a pound for pound, unbeaten, top 6. And he just lost in his first defense of his titles. And people say things like, oh, yeah, but he was struggling with the weight. So why not go to 140 then? It's weird how people want to be the bully in the ring. That's why they try and make a weight. They try and squeeze their body into a weight. So come fight like they're the bigger, stronger. So it's almost like they use the weight thing as an advantage when it suits them. But when it's a case of, oh, I'm struggling at the weight, that they use that after a defeat, if that makes any sense. So they use the advantage of, I'm going to kill myself to make this weight, then come into the ring huge and be the bigger, bullier guy. But when they lose a fight, it's like, the weight cut's a bit too much for me. Well, go to 140. It's always go to 140. All right, let's get back to the comments section. Where was we? I think I think we're here. Boxing Universe. This is what boxing is all about. Teofimo needs to leave his father, otherwise he'll become a journeyman. He won't be able to compete against the elite at 140. Let's calm down a bit. Let's calm down. Teofimo Lopez is not going to become a journeyman. Just this is the problem, I guess, with us as boxing fans. Like, you can't even have a loss anymore, can you? Like, you lost. So the same dad that found a game plan to beat, for me, the guy that was pound for pound number 2 or 3, Loma, he has to leave him now, or he's gonna become a journeyman. You can't have it like that. You can't. I think he needs to have a conversation with his dad, right? I mean, he really does. I think his dad needs to have a conversation with himself about the way in which he handled himself for the whole fight camp. But again, he got a career best win with his dad in the corner against Lomachenko. I think his dad just needed to calm down. I think his dad got a bit too passionate and irate yesterday. But he's clearly a good trainer because, again, he trained him to beat Loma. So there's something there. Clearly is. A lot of you coming for Teofimo Senior, boy. Team Banchamek says, after seeing the way Lopez acted in the fight, so in the after-fight interviews, I'm glad he lost. A lot of people are saying that. A lot of people. I'm kind of with you. I don't like that. I hate that kind of. I hate when people take a loss like that. And look, it must be so difficult to take a loss. It must be, but yeah, I didn't like the way he did that, especially the 10-2 thing. I was like, geez, you need to calm down, Tio. But yeah, you lose a lot of fans. Like, when your own crowd start booing you. That's one thing I like about boxing crowds. Like, you can go in. I remember when Froch versus Groves. Remember that, the first one, and Groves was getting booed on the way in. After the fight, Froch was getting booed. You remember that? So you can change a crowd, and Kambosos definitely changed the way the crowd, who the crowd were cheering for in that fight. But yeah, Teofimo didn't help him with that nonsense he said after. Didn't help him at all. What's this one? Isaac Jameson says, my mate worked at the Australian Institute of Sport and worked with George a few years ago, and he kept telling me how special he was. And yesterday just proved it. Up the Aussies. Yeah, up the Aussies indeed. It was even nice to see Manny Pacquiao tweet and say, those hundreds of rounds that we've sparred and shared with each other, hopefully they played a part in it tonight as well. So, man, if he's been sparring Pac-Man, and if he's saying hundreds of rounds, he's been sparring Pac-Man for a few years. He's been getting very, very good sparring. Very good. And you can imagine, like, Pac-Man would have turned the heat up on him a lot of times. So when the heat was turned up by Teofimo, you never really saw him panic. You never really did. I mean, there was a couple of times where he swang for the fences, and sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to think, fuck it, forget, this perfect technique. We just got to bite on the gum shield and swing. But most of the time when pressure was on him, he kept his technique so tight. Like, his feet were always moving. Teofimo's feet were so slow yesterday. Really slow. Well, I was disappointed with Teofimo, man. I can't lie to you. Again, this is a guy that's a pound for pounder, unbeaten. He believed his own hype a bit. He was talking about, I'm going to blow him out in the first round. He actually tried to knock him out in the first round. Like, what are you doing? Who gives you that advice? His dad. That's who. His dad said, knock him out in the first round. And you think you're going to do that? Like, Kambosos is some scrub you can just run through. Unbeaten Kambosos. You can just knock him out in the first round because you're what? Jeez, man. Crazy. Amandeep Jahal says, Kambosos showed levels above the Selby fight. Seems very well rounded, but not spectacular at any single thing. Yeah, I like that's quite a good assessment of him. Like, there's nothing you'd say that is a 10 in Kambosos. Like, some people have 10 and then they drop down. Kambosos seems to have everything at like a 7 or 8. Everything, right? His defense is pretty good. I love that peak, like that kind of that Philly shell that he does. I like it. I like the way he works from his jab. His feet were good. He seems like he's got a very, very, very good chin. In fact, his chin might be a 10 because Teofimo in the first round hit that guy with a lot and he just seemed to swallow them. But yeah, and by the way, this is why I'm a big Kambosos fan. Championship rounds away from home, you've just got off the floor in round 10. You go into the championship rounds, literally going into round 11. I think I had that fight all square. And then he wins 11 and 12 in the opponent's back garden. Come on. Madness. What's this one? Han Azam, Ade, the DAZN presenters and commentators are the worst I've seen. I'm talking about the USA ones. Shocking. Oh boy. Who was it? Todd Grisham, Mannix, and Sergio Mora. I don't know. I mean, they might think about freshening it up. I always feel like these things can always be improved. And I mean, I did say the other day, as soon as he retired, that everyone should try and get Sean Porter. I know he does some stuff with PBC. I remember he used to do that show with Kay Abdo and Abner Mars. I think it's not on anymore. If I'm DAZN, I look at him and I think I know he's got the affiliation with PBC, but get him. I think Sean Porter will be fantastic, fantastic. But yeah. Mark Hibbert says, even that, congrats on the win in the week. What do you think Lopez will do next? And would he have got stopped by Josh Taylor last night? Difficult. I've seen a few people say this, like, oh my God, Kambosos did that to him. Josh would have stopped him. I'm not sure. Remember that would be a TO at 140. I don't think he would be as tired. There's in that round 10 when he did try to get rid of Kambosos, literally he emptied the tank and there was nothing left. I do think a TO at 140 that would come into the ring, anything like around 155 would be a difficult proposition for Josh, but I'd expect Josh to beat him because I think Josh is just better. And Josh is better. Josh is bigger. Josh is really big for 140 pounds. I'm not quite sure what happens to Teo Leg. Obviously, it's going to take some time out. They're going to have to look at a training setup. They're really going to have to look at that. It must be so weird to have to almost sack your dad. Like, how do you even have that conversation? I don't even know how he has that conversation. But look, he's going to go to 140 next, and he'll win titles again. Teofimo is a good boxer. I'm not one of those people that want to write someone off after one defeat. He'll win titles again, whether it be at 140 or even 147. I think he's that big. But this is all about Kambosos. Sometimes we like to kind of, every time a favorite loses, we almost try to find a reason as to why. The reason why was Kambosos. Kambosos was that good. We just didn't know how good Kambosos was. Kambosos was very, very good. He's a fighter that is comfortable traveling. He's a fighter that, like, I wish that kind of energy he has, I wish you could give that to AJ. That kind of fuck it mentality that he's got, like very angry and just he's got that in abundance. And so we have to give the credit to George. They could fight again and George could win again, you know. Like, it's not a case of, I hope people are not doing this thing where, oh, Teo underestimated him. And no, none of that crap. George Kambosos on the night was just better than Teofimo. I think Teofimo assumed he was the bigger puncher, which he is. That's true. But I think he assumed that he's a way better boxer. And he wasn't. He wasn't. And if anything, technically, Kambosos' stuff was cleaner than Teo's a lot. Teo's was like literally lining up that right hand. It was so obvious what he was doing. I was like, I'm not a boxer. I can see what you're doing. And George was able to time him and timed him a lot of times. There was one punch Kambosos threw, and it was like he threw a left hook and then he threw an uppercut. It was, and then even on the way out of the uppercut, I think he threw a right hook. It was so clean. Like that 3-punch combination was beautiful. And I was like, shit, Kambosos is legit. He's the man now at lightweight. He's the man. He's the man that beat the man. So as far as I'm concerned, he's the lineal champion. He really is. He is that damn good. All right. Where are we? Geez, loads of questions in. Big super chat here from Ben Odom. Guys, so I'm going to do the super chats as always. Like, as soon as they come, I'm going to read them. Then we're going to get back on track. Yes, I'm going to try and read as many of your questions as possible. We're here for 2 hours, so don't worry. Really appreciate a big one, Ben. Thank you very, very much, my man. Congratulations, Adi, on the award. Has everyone seen it? If you haven't seen it, there it is. Can you see that? Audio Productions Award. Can you see that? Best New Voice, Adi Oladipo. Boom! Can I tell you very quickly? So I walked into this place here. Don't no one leave. Everyone remember, don't leave. I'm only going to talk about the award for 5 seconds, I promise. So I walked into this award place. I wasn't even going to go because I was supposed to be in America for the fight on the weekend. So someone else was going to go in my place. And went there anyway. And I remember thinking, I ain't never going to win this award. Like, it was almost like in a theater, massive, maybe 1,000, 2,000 people there. And I was like, gee, I didn't know it was this big. Anyway, they got to my category, Best New Voice. And they started reading out all the nominees. It was like 6. It was like 500 actually. Then we were the final 6. but then it was like a bronze, a silver, and a gold. They read out the lady's name for bronze. I was like, oh, please God, let me make top three. Then they read out the silver. I was like, fuck me, I ain't gonna win anything. Because I thought I was up against a guy, some other dude, some politician guy. And then they read me out, and I was like, jeez, Jesus. And I went up and I said, I'm one of the mandem. That's what I said. I said, wow, I'm one of the mandem, by the way. So yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Ben. How does Gervonta Davis get on with Kambosos? It's weird now because everyone now has called out Kambosos, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney. Everyone wants a piece of him now, don't they? Two other, I think a few others have called him out as well. I think that's an interesting one, you know. How does Gervonta Davis get on with Kambosos? I think Kambosos can cause him some problems, you know. I really do. Well, I'll tell you this now, he ain't scared of him. Like there's something about that kid where sometimes I feel like Gervonta has this swagger about him where people almost like a bit like Mike Tyson, where you already beat him before you got in the ring. I tell you now, Kambosos won't be scared at all, but there is also something that tells me that Gervonta will get to him. Gervonta will find a way. He'll take a bit of a beating to get in. He'll find a way and he'll close the show. This is so bad. I'm already kind of putting a loss in Kambosos' record, but I think he'll find a way to close the distance and close the show late. He just gets to you, don't he, Gervonta? But it'll be a great fight. It'll be a great fight. All right, let's see if we can get back in order. I think, where were we? So many comments coming in. All right. What's this one? Paul Taylor says boxing won and lost in the same night. I don't think it lost. I don't think so. I know what you mean, because the idea was we might have got to see Teofimo versus Devon. I don't know if that fight would even happen next year, but I don't think we lost. If anything, we gained another star in the lightweight division. That's the way we should look at it. Everyone for the last year has been talking about the four kings, right? And no, now we've got five. He likes to call himself the Emperor in Kambosos. We've got Lomachenko fighting in December next month against Richard Comey. So all of a sudden, the division's a bit thicker. And the thing about Kambosos, I don't think he's going to be like these so-called four kings. I think he will jump in with anyone. I think we've seen it. I think Kambosos will be like, I'll fight you. If the money's right, I'll fight. And I don't think there's going to be the same type of politics or mess with Kambosos as there might have been with a Teofimo or potentially even a Devin Haney or Ryan Garcia. So I don't think boxing's lost. And I think honestly, I think Kambosos is great for the division. He talks well. He'll sell a fight very, very well. And he fights aggressive. Like his style of fighting is something that we will find entertaining as well. So I think we've gained something rather than lost something. What's this one? Young Revival, the Emperor. Yeah, I like that name. I love that name. Mark Osborne, even though they had a great fight last night. That's something no one's really actually speaking about, how good the fight was. No one's really talking about that. Like, we've mentioned the fact that Teofimo's dad and Kambosos got off the knockdown, but we haven't actually said that was one of the fights of the year. It really had everything. Like the pace of the fight was fantastic. Both men getting up off the canvas, all the craziness going on the corner. Even the referee raising Teofimo's hand. I mean, how the fuck did the referee not get fired on a spot for that? Why did he raise Teofimo's hand? Crazy. But yeah, I thought the fight was really good as well. A bit more about from Liam Ashley here saying Lopez embarrassed himself in the post-fight interview. He did. My only thing I will say, and what I didn't like, is that Lopez wasn't even being interviewed. He just came over as Kambosos was being interviewed. So he interrupted the interview as well. But I will say this, straight after the fight, the emotions that these fighters must be going through, it's probably the worst time to hear from a fighter. It really is the worst time. Like some fighters need to just like have a breather, like, you know, honestly, like 20 minutes breather of anything, and then we can hear from them, because a lot's going through there. Look, he just lost his titles, and in doing so, lost a lot of that. He lost a lot of that. So it's been a tough year for Teofimo as well. Like he's not fought for a year. He's all that bullshit with Triller. So I'm not trying to stick up for him, but I just feel like sometimes the worst time to hear from a fighter is in the immediate aftermath of a fight. It's the worst time. Like we should at least wait maybe until the press conference, especially for the person that lost, I think. Quickly say hello to a few people. The Lost Soul, Evening Ade. Hyder Rada. Big Depot. Um, Dan the man says, "What's good, eh? Congrats on the award. I'm gonna keep that here all night." Wait, no, there. Yep. Yeah, keep it there. The fastest milkman in the West. I like that. Kambosos did to Lopez what Lopez did to Loma. I don't know. I think Kambosos was worse because what Kambosos did, what changed the whole narrative of that fight. Like everything changed with that first round knockdown. Literally everything. And you know when everyone talks about put a dent in someone, you've got to, like you always hear people say you got to put a dent in them. Literally, that first knockdown just flipped the script of the whole fight. It made Teofimo respect the power. It made him respect Kambosos because I thought like he started the fight with no respect for him. He almost like it was almost like he thought this was just a routine mandatory, and I'm going to fight Devin Haney in the spring. Let me just get rid of this Australian that no one knows. And as soon as he got hit, that was it. Whereas I don't think we ever saw anything like that with Loma, Teofimo. Yes, they landed some shots, and Teofimo landed some big shots on Loma, but there wasn't that kind of just immediate respect. I thought Kambosos was incredible. Honestly, it was the performance of the year. It really, really was. I mean, a lot of people will sort of look at Usyk and other ones. Performance of the year from Kambosos. Well done. And you know what makes it even more so the performance of the year? That round 10. He was hurt in round 10. Like, I've seen what he said after, he was showboat. No, he just got hurt. But for him to get up and rally like that and then win, like you're away from home. He knows how it works. He's away from home. He knows like if he doesn't really like perform in rounds 11 and 12, it's done. All that hard work you've done in rounds 1 to 9, if you don't perform in 11 and 12, you've lost it. And he performed. Uh, Honestly, people call it championship rounds for a reason. This guy's a championship fighter. Championship fighter. And I even feel bad that I fucking didn't give him enough props in the lead up to the fight because he's good. He's good. Um Rowan Perry says, I predicted a Kambosos win by majority decision, so I'm taking that as a W. Do take it as a W. That's a big W. Really big W. I'll take that. What's this one? Punch the like button. Yes, please. Can you punch it? Matthew D'Souza says, can you see Haney going down to Oz? Um, I've, no. If I'm honest with you, I can't see him going to Australia. And I still do think the fights will happen in America. I think DAZN will pay Kambosos a lot of money for the fight to be an American. I think this is when you start trying to cash in. What Kambosos might do though, in the meantime, and I know we're not going to like it, but if Haney does get through Diaz, I don't think it will immediately be Haney Kambosos. I think Kambosos might have a homecoming fight, and rightly so. Rightly so. Again, you've been on the road. Mickey Bay split decision, Lee Selby split decision, Teofimo split decision. You get a chance, and you should have an opportunity to go home. He says he can get 80,000 somewhere on Australia. Do that. Do that. There'll be some names that I want to travel. Fighter. And look, and people might hate me for saying this, but fight a B-level fighter. Have your homecoming fight and then come to America and then get involved with the guys that have been calling them out. Get involved with Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, who will happily come up in weight. Have those fights, but have a homecoming fight first. Ronan Harris says, what's up, Addy? Not much talk about the rematch between Teo and Kambosos, but definitely would be worth watching. I would rather see that. Would rather see then Teo versus Devon. Congrats on the award again. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, not much talk about it at all. In fact, it's weird because Michael Benson, I think, tweeted, who would you want to see Kambosos fight next? And the rematch wasn't even there. And you know what? Part of me doesn't want him to give Teo a rematch, if I'm honest with you, because I wanted Teo to give Loma a rematch, and Teo refused, so I ain't giving him a rematch. And I'm like, oh, really? So I don't want Kambosos to give him one. I don't, like if that's how you're gonna be, when you're champ. I think now it's almost like you're gonna get a bit of your own medicine, aren't you? You're gonna get a bit of your own medicine. So if our Kambosos is in a position now where he has so many options, so many. Honestly, there's about 2 or 3 guys from 130 that would happily come up. There's obviously 4 or 5 guys at 135. He has got loads of options. You know what would make me laugh? Sorry, it's not even a case of would make me laugh, but I wouldn't be surprised if Loma gets there before Tia. Well, Tia's going to go 140 anyway, so it wouldn't surprise me if Loma gets his belts back before all the rest. Wouldn't surprise me. I think Loma's going to come through Richard Comey, and then I think Loma will fight Kambosos, and I think Loma would win. I think he would win, and I think he would like win in impressive fashion as well. Jo says, Adi Oladipo, is it true there is no rematch clause? Yes, no rematch clause was put in. See, this is why people diss Eddie Hearn about rematch clauses. I mean, if you're Teofimo now, you wouldn't be dissing Eddie, or no one from that team would be dissing Eddie. This is why you have a rematch clause, because you never know. And it's difficult, obviously, because this is the mandatory, so it'll be difficult to make, but you can get it put in. You get that rematch clause put in. There's no way you have 4 belts, including the Ring Magazine belt, and you don't have a rematch clause in there. You know why you don't have one in there? Arrogance. Arrogance and silly promoter. Mark Osborne said it's been snowing on and off here up in Hornsey, East Yorkshire. Yeah, I was in Manchester last night. I was going to do a live watch down, but then I thought, I needed a bit of a break. So I went to Manchester last night, which is always nice. It's snowing up there as well. Jay Graves says something about that fight just summed up why I love boxing. Massive underdog, according to the bookies. By the end of the fight, had Tio's home city booing him. You got to love it, innit? You got to love it. I was a bit... Obviously, that wasn't the big arena in Madison Square Garden. I was a bit surprised by that. Like, I don't know how big Tio... Like, I've maybe misunderstood how big Teofimo is. I thought Teofimo was very, very big in the States. I'm not quite sure what the attendance was last night, but watching it didn't look a lot. Didn't look a lot. That looked like maybe... I don't know if anyone can confirm this, but it looked about 4,000 or 5,000. So maybe Tio isn't the star I thought he was. Or maybe people just were assuming that this was just going to be a 1-round blowout and thought, nah, I ain't wasting money on the tickets. I don't know. But I expected a bit of more. I expected more from Tio's fans. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Christopher Klaus says, is Teofimo's dad his weakness? Again, kind of repeating myself here, but his dad was his strong point when he beat Vasil. So I don't know if it's his weakness, but yeah, I think even his dad, hopefully, his dad just reminds me a bit of Danny Garcia's dad. They're all a bit mad, aren't they? They're all crazy. Far too crazy. But I don't know. His dad's clearly a good trainer. There is a good trainer in there. But his dad last night was just bad. Like, he was telling him he's winning rounds when he isn't. Like, it's just, it was just insane. Insane corner advice. I didn't hear anything good. Again, a few of you going the same thing. Meza Ozil here says, Tio needs to bring another trainer in. The corner work was horrendous. Yeah, it was. Thomas J. Ridley says, yes, Ade, congrats on your win too. Bang. Joseph Clark says, is lightweight the deepest division in boxing? Yeah. Yeah. I think it's the deepest in terms of 1 to 7. Like, there is no clear number 1. Like, 1 down to 7, maybe even 8 could all fight each other, and you wouldn't 100% put your house on any of the outcomes. Like, you wouldn't, would you? Is it the deepest? Yeah, it is the deepest. It really is the deepest. It is 100%, in fact. Sean Myers says, yo, what's up, Ade? What's up, brother? Got lucky against Loma. No, he didn't. He didn't get lucky against Loma. He won the first 7. Loma won the last 5. That's not luck. That's not luck at all. Nigel78 said, what's up, Ade? I was looking for the live last night. I know, I can't lie to you. As I was watching the fight last night, I was so angry with myself for not doing a live. I was like, because I was umming and ahhing about it all week, and I was like, nah. And as soon as the fight happened, I was like, you fucked up there, didn't you, Ade? You walked up there. What's this one says? Neil Smith says, what's up, Ade? Just found yesterday. Congrats on the award. Well deserved. Thank you, people. Thanks to everyone for all the messages on the award, by the way. Really appreciate that. Kieran here says, Kambosos 8-4. Yeah, 8-4, 7-5. Happy with that. There. It was close, but yeah, 8-4, 7-5. I think it's fair. It was a very he won it. The right person won in the end. I was thinking he was good. I honestly, I was thinking he was going to get robbed on the scorecards. That was my only thought. And I was like, they're gonna rob him. You just feel like that's gonna happen, don't you? Unfortunately, but no, he won it. So well done to him. Super chat here from Jake Jansen says, Josh Taylor was right again. Lopez isn't all that great. Isn't all that great. Shout from him. UK should be pushing Taylor to be a star. Beat 4 unbeaten world champions. I still think Teofimo Lopez is a very good fighter. I do. I guess the problem with boxing, unlike most sports, you can't have an off day. You can't have a off day. You have an off day, you're done. You can't even go into the ring assuming someone's going to be something and there's something else, because you then have to try and make adjustments, and only the very elite and the very best can make those adjustments. But I was watching Teofimo last night. I was thinking, man, Floyd Mayweather was good, I don't know why, but just every time I watch some of these kids coming up and everyone gets excited about them, I always think of Floyd for some reason. Like Floyd, like I know he had that one where he went down against Zabjuda where his glove touched, but that wouldn't have been anything. Floyd's never been down. Like, it's actually incredible. Like Floyd's defense and Floyd's boxing ability was just. I actually don't think I appreciated Floyd Mayweather when he was fighting. Like, I used to just take it for granted how good he was and how slick he was. Because I watch some of these kids now, and I think the other day someone was comparing Shakur Stevenson to Floyd, and I was like, just shut up, man. Stop. Just stop. But yeah, going back to your point, I do think we need to celebrate Josh Taylor a lot more. I guess, look, I'm not just saying this because I do stuff with Matchroom and I work for the Zone, but there is a bit of me that wishes that he was with Eddie, because I know Eddie would promote, like, Eddie would fucking sell him, wouldn't he? He'd oversell Josh Taylor, wouldn't he? Like, right, Eddie would be talking about Josh right now. And I feel like Josh doesn't have anyone that does that for him. That's my only thing about Josh, which is disappointing. He has no voice. There is no one that does all the heavy lifting for him. Whereas if he had an Eddie Hearn right now, imagine if he had Eddie, what Eddie would be saying about Josh. It would be good. It would be good, but he doesn't have it. Saeed Mia Super Chat says, Salam Ade. Well done on the award, bro. We see you as one of the mandem. Thank you very much. I am one of the mandem. Couldn't be more proud. Did you see AJ's interview yesterday? All the best, bro. Oh, bruv. I did see AJ's interview yesterday. Yes, I did. Oh, boy. I don't know if you guys saw it. If you haven't seen it, IFL TV, go and watch it. AJ, this is after the event in Dubai. Kugan Cassius catches him as he's leaving the event, and it's not the greatest interview, put it that way. It's not the greatest interview. If you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil the interview for you, but there's just a lot of contradictions in there with AJ. Like, he's asked the question by Kugan, would you take step aside money to allow Fury versus Usyk? And he immediately jumps on the answer and says, no. Like, I think he even swears, like, no way. And I think Kugan then kind of pushes him on it and says, have you been asked? He said, my team wouldn't even bring that to me. Like, nope, ain't happening. And then about a minute later, he talks about, I'm a businessman as well. So if it makes business sense, I'm like, you just said 5 minutes ago, no effing way. Ray Valero says, I don't think this is a big upset as people think. Mikey versus Martin was a much bigger upset. No, it wasn't. He's talking about Mikey Garcia versus Sandor Martin. And look, that's your opinion. I don't want to be rude and say, no, it isn't. But no. Come on, man. Come on. This was huge, bro. This is you can't do this. This was a huge upset. It really was a huge upset. Again, Teofimo Lopez, like, as much as you say Mikey hadn't fought for a while. Mikey hadn't fought since Errol Spence, I don't think. Let me check. No, I can't bother to check, but I'm sure that's correct. And I knew about Sandor Martin, by the way. Not a lot, but I knew a bit about him. This is a huge. Teofimo Lopez in the pound for pound rankings was number 6. Had everything: power, strength, boxing ability. Had just beaten Vasily Lomachenko. This is a big upset. Big upset. Billy Bob Joe says World Boxing Super Series lightweight: Kambosos, Haney, Diaz, Loma, Garcia, Tank, Stevenson. If you moved up, Comey. Didn't include Tiaz who move up. Yeah, it's all good. Won't never happen, though, will it? Won't ever happen. Leo Mack, top 535-pound fighters. Loma, Kambosos, Teofimo, don't be one of those guys that don't put him in. He's still there. Come on, people, don't do that. Devin Haney, even though I'm still a bit like that with Devin, by the way. And I see. I guess we kind of have to say Ryan, but I'm not convinced with Ryan either. I'm not convinced. What we got? Elliot McCollum. I think I said that right. A lot of talk about Teo fighting Haney, plus him calling out Taylor, overlooking Kambosos, and bought into his punching power. Had no plan B when George took the shots. Yeah, none. I will say this though. We have to give credit to Teo for getting the knockdown in round 10. I think Teo found his second wind, and look, I thought Teo looked awful from rounds 3 to 7. Honestly, he got bashed up. Like honestly, just looked he looked sluggish. His corner advice was awful. He took it upon himself to start to run through the gears. He literally was running on empty, and he said, "You know what? I'm not losing these belts like this." Honestly, you could see him talking to himself. So for him to put on, I think, a really good round 9 and half of round 10 when he got the knockdown, I have to credit Teo for that. I mean, he fought like a champion in those rounds to try and hang on to the belts, like literally just last minute, like give me those fucking belts. You're not taking them. You're not taking them. But Kambosos was just too strong, too mentally strong. Like, not I don't mean it physically strong, just too mentally strong for him. Kyoshi says Kambosos was so confident and so self-assured all fight week. It reminded me of Alicia Baumgardner in her lead up against Harper. Such a great, yeah. Alicia was like that. Man, there's something about that, you know. There is something about that mental strength. There's something about it, man. It's not just, you know, it's not just coming into the ring being the biggest and the fastest. Like mentally, how strong are you? And Kambosos, mentally, he's right up there, right up there. Well done on your award this week, says Joe Barrow. Really appreciate that one. Thank you very much. W. Thornton, thumbs up for the award winner. Thank you, people. What's this one? The Law Academy says Teo shouldn't have unironically tied to get the knockout in the first round. Was never going to happen. Yeah, was never going to happen. I mean, I don't know what he was trying to do. Hindsight's wonderful, but I have no idea what. It was stupid. It was, and that's when the emotion just got to him, and he was honestly trying to take this kid's head off in the first round. I mean, like, come on, man, like really, really bad from Teo, like really bad. What's this one? Jacob Sherry B says, I'd rather Ryan just stay quiet until he gets his house in order and is ready to actually fight again. Yeah, I think Ryan tweeted something about something about along the lines of I can't wait for this hand to be fit again or something along those lines. But yeah, Ryan, let's just see you in the ring first. I mean, Devin should, if I'm Devin as well, I'm chilling out. I'm coming off social media until my fight. Like Devin had a few digs at Teofimo, and look, maybe this is a good little wake-up call for Devin. Like Devon's got a fight next week, and he needs to be really on his A game because Jojo Diaz ain't no joke either. So if I'm Devon, I'm coming off social media until I handle my business. I ain't tweeting because boy, you could look a bit silly if it goes wrong for you as well. Mark says, can we talk about how much of a problem Agawa is going to be? Also, can you imagine promoting him across Asia? Congrats on the award. Yeah. Agawa got the decision, beat up, got 3 knockdowns against Fuzeli. I've only watched the highlights of that fight. But the interesting thing is Azinga Fuzeli, I don't know if you guys knew, but I used to live in South Africa, work and live in South Africa for a couple of years. And he was literally the talk of the town. Everyone spoke about him, like everyone. So I expected him to really, I don't know if I expected him to win yesterday, but I expected a really good performance. But I said this to someone the other day about the African fighters. Like there's even a guy, I'm going to forget his name now. He fought in Bolton yesterday. So he fought in Bolton on Friday. What is his name? On a Steve Goodwin show. Anyway, it was unbeaten. But they have wars over there. Like I've watched these guys fight, and it's like they kill themselves in South Africa where no one's watching them. So you look on their record and it will say something like 12-0, and you're thinking, okay. And it will say, and you're not going to watch the highlights of the fights. It'll say 12-0 knockout, but it never tells the story of the fights. So what I'm trying to say is that a lot of these South Africans are coming over when they've only maybe lost once or unbeaten. Sorry, the guy's name is Mbangamfa. Tembani Mbangamfa. Tembani spelled Thembani. Just remembered. So yeah, anyway, so they're basically coming to America or Europe. They're already finished. They're done. They've had too many wars. They're done. You watch them. I've gone to watch them spar. It's fucking like, what are you guys doing? You're trying to kill each other. So by the time they get to the UK, unfortunately, there's nothing left. And I think we saw that with Mazinga. Mazinga just looked a shell of himself. And this is a guy that's he's not had hundreds of fights. He's only lost once, and that was close. That's a shame. It really is a shame. Don't know, man. So I feel like African boxing kind of lets itself down a bit with the preparation that these fighters go through. It's really bad. Let's quickly see. And thank you for the congrats on the award. Thank you very much, man. Really appreciate that. What's this one? Charlie Carpenter says, mate, Senior's instructions were laughable. We're just blowing smoke up his ass. Yeah, very, very bad. Like very, very bad instructions. I can't. And this is what makes me like we give people like, there's for some reason, Ben Davison gets a lot of stick over it. I have no idea what it's about. I don't know what it's about. Everyone says he's a personal trainer or something that's turned boxing trainer. He's a good trainer. Like we're too hard on what we've got over here sometimes. Like we're so tough on some of the boxing trainers we've got in this country. Like we're obsessed with the American boxing trainers. And sometimes I listen to them and I'm like, what are you talking about? And this is not all of them. I mean, we've got some great ones over there, but don't be so hard on the ones we've got over here because, again, I've listened to Ben Davison in the corner, and even when it's getting tough and it's getting heated and the fight's close, clear instructions, so composed. You're listening to an experienced Teofimo Lopez Senior, and it was shocking. Ronan Perry says when Kambosos got hurt, he went into the flames. Phenomenal performance. It really was a phenomenal performance. Every time Kambosos got hurt, you know what I liked? It's almost like he fought like someone that is used to fighting away from home. It's like every time he got hurt, it's like, okay, I've got to hurt you back because I've got to somehow equal this because you're going to get the round. It's like he's almost like a bit like Loma. So a bit like Usyk. Usyk does that as well. Every time Usyk get touched, Usyk's trying to land again. Like it's like, oh, you hurt me, I've got to hit you because I want the judges to remember that I got the best of this. And Kambosos was fighting like that as well. Every time Teofimo landed something, whereas normal opponents back off because of Teofimo's power and just his size, Kambosos was coming forward and Teo didn't know what to do. Teo was like, I've just hurt you. Why are you coming forward? It was such an incredible performance from Kambosos. Honestly, performance of the year. Honestly, performance of the year. Base the Kid, the hardcore casual says, what up, big man? Congratulations getting over that 100 subscriber thing as well. I see your vid. I'm watching. I see your vid. Did you see the Solomon versus Silva fight in Mexico Friday night? Amazing fight from two prospects. I haven't. How you get time to watch all this boxing? I haven't seen it. I'm going to try and watch it. What's this one? So it's really weird, the story of two dads, isn't it? Because you look at what Sean Porter's dad did the other day and how he conducted himself. And a lot of people are giving him a stick, but I think he conducted himself in the aftermath, quite respectfully. And look at Teofimo Senior's dad. Like, I'm not a fan of dads being trainers because I think there's too much emotion involved. And you need to remove that emotion. But look at the two dads and how different they both were. So different, both of them. So different. Sorry, I'm just going to quickly. Bernard, how do you say that name? Cordia? Super Dad, no question, Bernard. Get a question in, please. Please get a question in. Just send a question, but don't super chat and I'll read it out. But thank you very much, brother. Alex Chavez, congrats, Ade. Watching from Yuma, Arizona, USA. Another one here from SK said, congrats on the award. The hard work is pan. And this shit heavy, I can't lie to you. This thing is heavy. Like, It weighs a bit. Let me show you again. Let me show you again for those of you that have just joined to the chat new. Audio Productions Award, Best New Voice. Blood. Can you hear that? Look at that. Did you hear that? Wait, listen. That ain't no joke. Listen. That weighs some, blood. That weighs some. All right, let me just go some random. What's this one? I saw one that says, Addy, you're deluded. Okay, this is it. What's this one? So I'm happy to go for it. Vincent Carvalho says, Addy, you're deluded. George beats Loma. Steady. Like Loma is not done yet. Steady. I mean, don't get me wrong. George Kambosos, like, it's difficult. He's an unbeaten fight now. He's gonna have super confident, but there's still a lot left in Loma. Still a lot left. Hassan Ahmed says, Ade, how do you think Teo comes back from this? I reckon he needs a head coach. His dad let him believe he was winning the fight. I don't know. It's going to be difficult. It's his dad, isn't it? Again, I said this earlier, but how do you sack your dad? I don't know how you sack your dad. That's difficult. What we got here? What's this? The biggest boss says better corner work than Tunde Ajayi and Rob McCracken. A lot of people are mentioning that it wasn't Teo's dad that did a lot of the good work in the win against Loma. It was Joe Gamachi. I think it's Gamachi is his surname. You're right. A lot of you guys are correct. This is it. This is what I would like to happen. Teo Senior needs to do the right thing and resign. Just let him leave it. Honestly, like, it's your son, and maybe you think, you maybe you just have a conversation and say, son, I'm far too emotional. I love you, and I want you to be the best you can be. Maybe I'll take a step back. And maybe you just find another trainer for now. Because man, it was bad. Richard Schneider says, nice to see Teo eat some humble pie. Really needed it. A lot of people are saying this. A lot of people seem to not like Teo. Am I reading this wrong? Is it because of his antics prior to the fight, or in the aftermath of it, or it's just a bit of everything? But a lot of people seem to are happy that Teo lost. It's interesting. Do people believe this? Gary Sam says, if the fight was on Top Rank and not the Zone, Teo wins. If you believe that, then you're obviously saying that the judges are corrupt. Maybe you're right, though. Maybe you're right. Michael P says, I think of Floyd whilst watching every fight. He's insanely underrated by today's boxing fans. Floyd's a genius. Floyd Mayweather is a genius. Like genius. W. Thornton says, defending all the belts is tough when you win them all in one fight. The win went to Teo's head. Felt he didn't need to prepare. Too busy trying to be a better dad to his kid than his dad was to him. You know what I might get? I might send the link and get a few of you on. We'll see. I might. Should we do that? Let me know if you guys want to do it. I'll put the link in. Two sets, guys. Amir Khan versus Kell Brook, by the way. Done for February, Manchester. February, done. Pay-per-view, Sky. What do you guys make of that? And obviously, Liam Williams, Chris Eubanks, that fight card is now off. The whole fight card is cancelled until January. But what do you guys make of Amir Khan, Kell Brook? I'm still watching it. I'm definitely still watching it. I'm just trying to quickly see a couple more. What's this one? Justin Sang says, I think Teo should keep his dad around as more of an advisor rather than a trainer, to be honest. Can't knock what he did for the Loma fight. I wouldn't even want him as an advisor. I don't want anyone around that has that kind of energy for a fight. All that fighting with the corner. Did you see that stuff? Like, I think when Kambosos was doing, I think it was doing his media workout, and he came over and tried to argue and fight with Kambosos, his dad. I don't want any of that around. And then he went back to Tio and said, "You knock out that mother F in the first round. You do that." And Tio's like, "Yeah, yeah." It's just like, I don't want any of that. What we doing? What we doing, man? Crazy. Anthony Vander says, "The Zone, the channel for boxing upsets." Yeah, this might work well for the Zone. Like you know, this might work well, and they get a big one next week as well. Um, Oh, this must have been crazy. JJ Warner says, I watched it in a pub in Sydney. It was epic. As a Brit, I want to see boxing get bigger here in Australia. It must be getting big now because there's a couple of really good Australians, like really good. So it must be getting there. Um, um, Igor Tomilev says, Hey Ade, who is the toughest opponent for Kambosos at 135 pounds? I would have thought it would have been Tio because Tio's the biggest 135 pounder. Well, Comey's the biggest, but you know, physically big. But now I think it's the better boxer, and the better boxer is Loma. So I think Loma's still like, maybe I've got this fucking thing for Loma. I don't know what it is. I just love Loma, and I still think after watching Loma's last fight, there's still a bit left in Loma. And I think maybe that stylistically could be tough for Kambosos. But look, right now, Kambosos is the man. He's the man that beat the man. He's the man. So right now, he's the problem. He is the issue. Congrats on the award, he says as well. Ade watching from Kiev, Ukraine. Much appreciated. Oh, really? Baz H says, have you seen John Fury calling out Jake Paul for not having drug testing? You know, I'm going to that fight, by the way. I am 1 trillion% going to that fight. So I was, I say 1 trillion, let me not go that far, 100%. I was supposed to do Chisora versus Parker December 18th, but I've been asked now to go out and do that one for the Zone. So I'll be out there for that fight. I'll be doing the build up. So the Zone are not showing it, but they're obviously doing a the Zone boxing show, and are going to be talking about that fight quite a lot. Okay, this is the question from Bernard. Yo, Ade, it's pronounced Cordi. Okay, Cordi. Nice name. Yeah, my super chat was, we need to look out for our boy AJ. He's moving differently. Unfollowed a whole load of people on Insta and looks a bit off. Really? Boy. Mm, they need to look out for AJ, man. I can't lie, I didn't like that interview. I didn't like that interview. And it's very difficult for me to say these things because I'm a big AJ fan. I think of him as someone that I can message and he messages back, and I like him, but I didn't really like that interview. I didn't like it. I feel like he's flip-flopping, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. Even this trainer thing. I have no idea what is happening with this trainer stuff, by the way. I ain't gonna. Michael Stone says, "Can I get a shout out, bro? Shout out to Michael Stone. What tattoo is that? I can't see what tattoo that is, but shout out to Michael Stone. Um, um, okay, this is the one that I think even Bay said this as well. From London Runs Boxing, Joey Gamache, is it Gamache? Was the man who orchestrated the Loma win for Tio. He was missing last night. This is interesting because Kambosos, I don't want to get into Teofimo's personal life because that's separate, but he did say your whole team's left you. And I'm guessing he might have been talking about Joey as well. He says your whole team's left you, that you've changed, you've changed. He kept on saying it, didn't he? In I think the second press conference. And this could be a big part of it as well. This could have been a reason. What's Spaz hate saying? I won't be paying for Kel versus Khan or Khan versus Kel stream on. I'm definitely going to watch that fight. By the way, I've been waiting for it for 10 years. So if it happens, I've got to go and watch it. I've got to go and watch it. Fred talks fighting, the man who has more interviews than anyone at the moment. Congratulations on your success. He says, congratulations on the award. No, congratulations on everything you're doing. We've got to do something together. I promise we will get it done soon. I promise. Yusuf Patel says Anthony Joshua is just fed up of being controlled by his PR team. I don't know if I believe that, by the way, because just tell him to fuck off then. Pardon my French, but just tell him to go. Like, I mean, what how much money AJ got in the bank? Like, well, just tell him to go. Like, tell everyone, I'm done. I'm done doing this, that, all the nonsense I'm doing. I'm done. I just want to fight now. I'm done trying to, wear headphones to the way in support of beats. I'm done doing my Lucasade stuff. I'm done doing my JD Sports stuff. I'm done. Goodbye, everyone. What's he going to lose? He loses out on a few million. He's okay. The Wolves are not at his door. The bailiffs are not coming tomorrow. He's okay. So if he's upset about his PR team, just tell them all to go. Sack them all. So, I mean, he's got a lot of decisions to make, man. He's got a lot of decisions to make. Michael P says AJ needs time. The immediate rematch is a horrendous idea. Yeah, maybe. AJ has lost his mojo. 1221 says, what did you make of IFL interview of AJ from yesterday where he says he might take step aside money so Fury Usyk happens? I find the whole thing strange. I find it all strange because I just don't know. It's just, what can I tell you? What can I tell you, people? Do I think he'll take step aside money? No, because I think it's have to be a huge amount. But he did say, look, in that interview, he did talk about he's a businessman, and if it's the right business decision, then he'll do it. But I think that'll be a bad idea. I really do. I think that'll be a bad idea. Because, okay, even if he were to take step aside and Fury were to beat Usyk, which I think Fury would, I mean, you can't sell Fury AJ. AJ ain't done nothing. So what's AJ going to do? Have to fight Dillian White? I just don't understand what's going on with all of it. I wouldn't mind seeing AJ versus Dillian White, but who knows? The Lost Soul says, is Canelo versus Makabu off? Boxrec has Makabu versus Muchunu. I think that's how you pronounce his name, in January. Yeah, Don King has still said that Makabu will fight. He's mandatory in January. But that's still, remember, Canelo would be May. So it's still 4 or 5 months. And I think Makabu would look, even if Makabu got fucked up in that fight and he can barely make it to the ring in May, he's making it to the ring in May because it's the biggest paycheck he'll ever have. And let's not forget, Canelo has previous in doing this. I remember when Kovalev had that fight with Yard, and I think Kovalev only had 6 or 7 weeks to turn it around or something like that. And then he fought Canelo. So there's still a very good chance that Makabu, even if he does fight in January, will still fight Canelo in May. He'll still do it. He'll still do it. It ain't his father, says Hyder Rada. He simply overlooked George and too tight of the weight. No, I'm not giving him an excuse about he overlooked George. He didn't. He had a year. Sorry, not a year. He had 5 months to prepare for George Kambosos. Remember, this fight has been cancelled and moved, and he knew every single thing about Kambosos. I don't think he overlooked him at all. I just think Kambosos was just better. Kambosos was just better. Kambosos showed that he was a better boxer, technically, than Teofimo Lopez and could take Teo's punches, and that was it. That was it. Paul Moss says, last night was a true Rocky performance. Even knocking the champ down in round 1 shocked the world. Honestly, it was fantastic. It really was. It really was. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was amazing. No, what's this one? Hyder Ryder says, Josh Taylor's options are gone. Mikey, Teo, Bud, left top rank, and Adrian Broner is done. Yeah, look, I don't think he's gone because I personally think he's going to go to 140 anyway. Sorry, 147 anyway. If I'm Josh Taylor, I have this fight with Cattrall, and then I immediately go to 147, vacate. You become undisputed. We all know you're undisputed, and go, and then chase those guys. Like I think he should chase and put his name forward for the Crawford fight. He should say, I want Crawford, I want Errol Spence. He's the undisputed king at 140. Going up, he should call the big boys out. He should call the big boys out. And I like his chances in all of those fights. I don't think he beats Spence or Crawford, but I think he gives them really, really good fights. I really do. I think Josh Taylor's legit, legit. 2 secs. A lot of people are saying this. I'm worried about AJ's mental state. AJ's okay. AJ's all right. The Equalizer, the biggest fight in boxing is still AJ versus Wilder. Thoughts? What is the biggest fight in boxing that can be made today financially? If I don't know, I actually don't know. I have no idea actually. What the biggest fight is financially in boxing? It can't be AJ Wilder. It can't be. Nah, it can't be. I was gonna say AJ Fury, but I don't think that can be. I don't think that is either. It might be AJ Usyk. That might be like the biggest pay per view that can be done. Like everyone loves a rematch, especially when AJ is on the losing side. So I think that might be that's still a massive fight. And a lot of people in the comments are saying things about AJ, but AJ versus Usyk in the UK is still huge. Like a rematch, it will be huge. Um, so I still think that might be the biggest fight financially. I'm trying to think of any Canelo fight. I don't know. Is Canelo Jamal Charlo a big fight in America? I'm not quite sure, but I think AJ is still a big fight. Um, AJ was clear, respect over money and step aside. Um, wait, so let me read this properly again. London runs boxing. AJ was clear, respect over money and step aside. See, this is it. See, okay, I've got this wrong then because when Coogan first asked AJ the question, AJ dismissed it immediately. Like, no, they won't dare ask me that question. And then he kind of said, you know what, I'm a businessman though, and if it's the right business decision. So I kind of feel like he contradicted himself. But then you're right, he did say things like respect over money. Like he wants to go down as a three-time world champion. Apologies, a guy that fought everyone and a guy that has a lot of respect in boxing. But then he kept on kind of saying, but yeah, but if it's a business decision, and he was talking about his family have a housing thing and they're free. Dude, I just thought that first 20 minutes of that interview, sorry, first 20, that first 5 or 6 minutes of that interview for me were very, very confusing. Very confusing. The last 5 or 6 minutes I liked. The last 5 or 6 was AJ, but the first five, uh, kind of found it weird. RS says huge AJ fan, but the boy is media trained too much. If that makes sense. I don't know if he's media trained, by the way. I've actually seen people media trained, like footballers. I've actually been places where I've seen them getting media trained. AJ isn't that. Like, I just feel like he's just going for a tough time right now. He's had a tough defeat and he doesn't know how to handle that defeat. Like, and he's having to handle it in front of millions. It's tough. But I don't think he's as media trained as people like to say he is all the time. I personally don't think he is anyway. I just think he's a nice guy. I remember I've met him and interviewed him a few times. I think he's just a nice guy who wants to do good things all the time. But yeah. Bill Blur says, I'm not the only one that thinks Loma beats all these guys right now. You're not. I think he does as well. Um, this is a fight I need to watch again because I've seen a lot of people. 1-2 triple 2-1. Was Figueroa robbed last night against Fulton? He outlanded Fulton in 9 of the 12 rounds. A lot of people saying he was. There's a guy that I respect a lot called Lee Wiley. Um, I used to watch all of his videos, like really good videos where he breaks down a fight, like really, really smart. And he said that as well. He said that he thought um Figueroa won. Like Figueroa was just showing Fulton too much, and Fulton couldn't handle it. I need to watch it. What's this one? Billy Bob Joe says the zone is on fire. $24 for 3 months of Smith, Fowler, Garcia, Martin, Kidd versus Kiko, Manguez, Rosado, Andrade, Quigley, plus Card, Lopez, Kambosos, Haney, Diaz, Ben, Taylor, Chizoba. Fucking hell. That's not bad. Yeah, like, come on. That's not bad. That's not bad. Um, Will Nar says British fights can never be financially biggest because of the way the financial structure is set up versus America. You might be right with regards to that. It's just with AJ, the rights are sold everywhere around the world for quite a lot of money, like Super Sport in Africa sell the fights, and then they're sold in Asia as well and Australia. So it's not just a case of sort of British fights. When AJ fights, it's a worldwide thing. It's not a British fight. I mean, I know what you mean, but it's everywhere. It really is. Um. So yeah. What Quinn 40? What are you talking about? I've not seen any questions. Aha, you've actually missed 7 of my chats with 2 supers 10 minutes ago. That's not true. I would have 100% seen it, and not only would I have seen it, I'll just ask the question. Um, 2 sex peeps. This is a bit harsh. Rest in peace, Teo. Bloody hell. Calm down. Jesus Christ. What's this one? Kambosos will get 50,000 plus in Melbourne. You have to come to see the Emperor now. Good. That should be how it is as well. He's done his travels. He's traveled all over the world to fight. Now people should have to come to Australia. Like, boxing isn't just Britain and America. Boxing should be a worldwide event. That's how the sport grows. So if people have to travel to Melbourne to fight him, then so be it. So be it, man. People have to travel. Like, American fighters are so lucky, like, that they don't have to travel like this. They should have to travel as well. So hopefully they do. Hopefully they do. Ade, what's Dillian like in real life? Cool. As cool as they come. Honestly, just so laid back. It's a joke, just laughing all the time. There was one time, yeah. So we was doing an interview backstage, and it's hard to explain this, but there's a guy. So obviously, I'm here, Dillian's there, there's a cameraman there, and there's a producer there. And the producer is telling me like 1 minute left or 20 seconds left. So that would mean there's 20 seconds left. That means there's 1 minute. So the guy's like doing that and then doing that, like wrap up, like rap. So Dillian's talking, and the guy's doing that. Dillian says, "What's this nonsense? What's this idiot doing? Who's this fool?" And I was like, "No, Dillian, he's part of our team. He's the producer." And Dillian's like, "You'll see, what's he moving his hand like that for? He's getting on my nerves." And I was like, I could see the producer started to shit himself. And I was like, no, Dillian, he's okay. He's with us. And then I was like, okay, we need to cut that. And we're so lucky that wasn't live. But yeah, Dillian just switched just like that. But apart from that, he's cool. He's cool. Why are they called the Four Kings? They don't ever fight each other. Yeah, well, they're not called the Four Kings anymore, are they? That's done now. I mean, that's completely ruined, isn't it? That's completely ruined. So yeah. This is quite good. Neil says, Ade, I think people read too much into AJ's every word. Fury contradicts himself every interview, and it's expected now. If AJ moves Usyk up North London Roadman style, the whole narrative changes again. Yeah, Fury chats some apps. You know, it's weird, yeah? You're right. Look, they all chat shit, don't they? But Fury chats some fucking dog's bollocks. And no one says anything. No one says anything about it. But if AJ kind of I contradict myself on a daily. If AJ contradicts himself, it's like everyone goes mad. But yeah, Fury does. Oh, man, complete nonsense. What's this one? Why don't we see AJ's wealth on TV? I want to see his mansion. That would give kids more inspiration. Would it? Would it really though? I mean, if you saw AJ's house, would that give you inspiration to box? I think we know AJ's money. To be fair though, if you follow AJ on Instagram, he kind of shows his house quite a bit on Instagram, but maybe, I mean, it doesn't seem like the kind of person to show his wealth off. Like, even I'm surprised that he's in Dubai right now and he's been showing his watch a bit, which he never does. I just feel like he's not that kind of person, that character. But maybe it would be inspiring to some. It wouldn't really inspire me seeing his house. 2 secs. What's Mark Sam? Dillian White is real life Clubber Lang from Rocky 3. Dillian White, at any time I know can go. At any time can go. Like I think he could be worse than Clubber Lang. Like Dylan, I hope he gets an opportunity. You know, Dylan doesn't look like he's going to get one. If I'm honest with you, and this is why I say Tyson Fury chats some nonsense as well, but gets away with it. Tyson Fury on stage with Frank Warren said he's going to fight Deontay Wilder, and who did he say he's going to fight next? Dillian White. Remember that? He said he'll fight Dillian White in December. Obviously, he ain't gonna fight in December. He said he'll fight Dillian White next. Now all of a sudden, doesn't want to fight Dillian White, but no one says anything. Strange. He's strange. But I don't know how he gets away with it. Vex66 says, I still think AJ is a little bit gun shy and not sure of his own chin after the Andrew Ruiz loss. He is spinning too many corporate plates and looking for an outside fix rather than looking inward. You know what I think AJ needs? Remember that scene in Rocky 3 where Rocky goes to Apollo's gym? Remember that? Hopefully you've all seen Rocky 3 and he just sees all them black men. You know that when them hardcore, hungry motherfuckers. You know what I'm talking about? That bit. He goes in, he looks, and they look at him. That's it. The noise, they're all hitting the bag. Do, 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 do. And Rocky goes in and everything just stops. AJ needs that gym. AJ needs to go to Philly or wherever that gym is and find gym. Do those gyms even still exist? That's what AJ needs. He needs a bit of Rocky 3 right now. Adem says, what do you think the split should be between Fury and White? Fury's the champion. I mean, it could be 90-10, but it's more likely to be an 80-20 split. But that's kind of how it works with mandatories. It could be a 90-10. I mean, I know Eddie's probably thinking the lines of 60-40. No, doesn't work like that. 60-40, no chance. Could be an 85-15. That's kind of what it's going to be. A super chat, Quinn 40. Oh, here we go. I sent you a bloody super 10 minutes ago congratulating you. You didn't see it. I don't believe you, but regardless, if you did, apologies and thank you. Congratulating me on winning this award. I actually I won another award a couple of weeks ago. I should have brought that in as well. But yeah, I'm really proud of this award. So thank you to everyone that has said things. All right, guys, what's the time? 1 sec. Last 5 minutes. Tango Alpha Zulu says biggest fight in boxing, Crawford versus Spence. No, financially, it's not the biggest fight. I don't believe it is. I really don't. To us boxing fans, yeah, but I don't think neither of those attract the casual market enough for it to be the biggest fight. I really don't. Smile back if you're ugly says some people were so jealous of AJ they were waiting for him to F up with saying something. It comes with the package. If you're that famous, it comes with it. You're gonna get it. Oh, you think AJ was wavy in that video? London runs boxing. He looked a bit wavy. I didn't think AJ was a drinking person, but he did look a bit, or maybe he was tired. I don't know. I don't want to speculate, but we'll see. Sean Hedge boxing. What was your favorite Eminem song? Look at man just went away from boxing. Talk about Eminem, Renegade, where he murdered Jay-Z on Jay-Z's own track. What's that? San Pellegrino. Ade, what got you into boxing? Was it a specific fight you watched? Not really. I think maybe just the 90s over here. Like obviously the 80s with Mike Tyson, I think everyone would say that. But I think the 90s scene over here, so that Ben, Eubank, Watson, and then later on Nassim Hamed, and later on Joe Calzaghe. I think if you grew up and you're around my age, I think that would always be the thing that got you in. And then obviously we had Frank Bruno becoming world champion. There was a big buzz about boxing back then. And I don't know if you guys remember this, it was free on ITV. So, you know, it was on terrestrial TV. Do you not remember Saturday night's ITV boxing? It was really good. Then you had Audley Harrison coming at the Olympics in Sydney in 2000. So boxing was in a good place when I was young, a very good place. And it was free. So it was easy to access and watch. So yeah, that'll be it. What's this question? Ade, if Canelo beats Makabu and Usyk is still the heavyweight champion, can he move up and beat? Oh, no chance. Come on, bro. No chance. Favorite fighters right now: Fred Talks boxing, Terence Crawford, Vasyl Lomachenko, Gennady Golovkin. I think those will be my favorite 3. If I was picking favorite British fighters right now, it would be. I love them. I love a lot, you know. Like I love Josh Tate. I love AJ. I love Tyson Fury. He's mad, but I love him. I love Boatsi, Lawrence Okoli, Dennis McCann. Oh God, there's a guy. His name's I'm gonna forget his name. Dalton Smith. There's quite a lot. There's quite a few. The Chronicles of Aguna, Harry Symeou, big Arsenal fan, in fact, massive Arsenal fan, probably the biggest Arsenal fan I know. Go and check out his YouTube channel if you haven't already. I think he's got one. I'm sure he has. Keep up the great work, Addy. Cheers, Harry. Really appreciate that, my man. Paul Taylor might get blocked for this. Paul, you might get blocked. Rocky movies were the worst boxing movies of all time. Shall I block him for that statement, people? Tell me. He's close. I can block him now if you want. I would have no pain in blocking him for that comment. Kyoshi says, if Jojo Diaz wins on Saturday, what do you think Devin Haney will need to do going forward? Pray. He cannot lose to Jojo Diaz. He cannot. WMMA scene now. I always miss these until the last 10 minutes or so. Sorry, dude. Sorry. Andrew Spence in the building. Check out the award. You have to, you have to show these things sometimes, Andrew. You know what I mean? You have to show these things sometimes. Andrew Spence is the one that got me into TalkSport, everyone, by the way. Level Up Boxing says, big up. Chris Andre, boxing great. Sorry, let me read it again. Big up Chris Andre boxing. Great boxer, man. Love your channel. Is Chris Andre in the building? Oh, he is. This is very interesting, this question. What do you think of two judges giving the first round just 10-9 to Kambosos? Same thing happened to Campbell when he dropped Garcia. Isn't it just a way to protect the A side? A knockdown should equal 10-8. Yeah, I saw that. And I'm waiting for a response, but I don't think we're going to get one, just because in the end, Kambosos won. If Kambosos was to lose that fight, and then we saw the judges' scorecards were 10-9, sorry. I don't want people to tell me shit like Teofimo was winning the round and he won the round apart from the knockdown. Guys, you just know how it works. 10-8 to 10-8. We know how it works. And you know what the thing is as well? I don't think Kambosos was winning that round. I think Teofimo was landing and swinging away and landed a couple, but I thought Kambosos was controlling the round. And he got the knockdown. That's 10-8. How dare they give it a 10-9? They were trying their hardest to give that fight to Teofimo Lopez, Trying their hardest. Boxing. What's this one? Anthony Vander, 24 days to Matrix 4. Back to Chris, Andre. We got to do something, brother. I don't know if you're based in London, but we are. I keep saying this, but the studio is going to be here soon. I'm in it now. But in terms of me being able to interview someone, it's going to get set up soon. And I really want people like Chris Andre to come down. There's so many of you in this chat, actually, that I think know your shit. It'd be nice to come down and just, when the live watch longs are happening, just to get you guys involved. But definitely Chris Andre, who knows a lot of shit. All right, last. Oh, what's this? Titus Augustus says, over 600 people watching and just 200 likes. You're all lazy to smash a like. Guys, please, hit the like button for me, please, just before we go. The Equalizer says Canelo beats Okoli. No, Okoli knocks him out. Cody, I'm not even joking, by the way. I think Okoli knocks him out. What do you think? Everyone is saying I should block. Everyone's saying I should block the guy that said the Rocky movies are the worst boxing movies. Let me find you again. You're getting blocked. Ric Flair or Hulk Hogan? Ric Flair. Ric Flair could cut a promo better than anybody. Like give Ric Flair the mic, and only The Rock in recent times can cut a promo like that. But Ric Flair could cut one hell of a promo. Woo! Okay, wait. Now, a lot of people saying the 10 up, the 10-9. A lot of you are saying that 10-9 is so wrong. It's just ridiculous. That's what I don't like about boxing. That side, I don't know how you clean it up. I don't know how you clean it up. Chris Andre says, "Big up, Addy. So glad you're so honest about that. So refreshing to see someone in the public eye not pulling the punches." No, I don't, and that's not going to help me in years to come, boy. But yeah, it's just what else can it be? I don't know what else to call it. Canelo has no chance against Okoli, and Okoli has improved massively at range. And if he does get close, he's up against a master in body manipulation. Sorry, and if he does get close, he's up against a master and body manipulation on the inside. Okoli by murder. Yeah, Okoli would destroy Canelo. People just need to chill out with this talk. Like, I don't think people have seen how big Okoli is. Okoli, massive. Massive. And you know when everyone rates Canelo's chin. I'm telling you now, if Okoli was to hit Canelo on the chin, goodbye. If Canelo takes Okoli's punch, then all bets are off. All bets are off, and there clearly are better drugs on the market than I know about. Mighty Four says, "Yo, Addy, you good? Come on, bruv. You got an American football helmet, but no Liverpool shirt in studio. Come on, you're right, brother. You know what? You're right. I might move Bob and put the shirt there. You know what? We're gonna get the Liverpool shirt there tomorrow. We're gonna get there. All right, guys. I think we're done because I am. Michael Stone, what does Michael say? Been on these lives from the start, Ade. Was proud to see you get that award, guys. Thank you, man. It was a proud moment to get that award as well. Proud moment. All right, guys. I'm gonna make a video now about the fights. So I'm not even gonna go home. That's why we've got to wrap this one up because I'm gonna make a video now quickly about the fights. But always appreciate you guys coming through. Thank you very, very much. There were nearly 600. Sorry, at one stage, there were nearly 700 of you in the live, which is always good for a Sunday evening. Don't forget on the way out of the live, hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, share the love, and make sure you check out a couple of YouTube channels as well. Definitely check out Base, the hardcore boxing casual. What is it? Is it Base the hardcore? 1 second. I think it is Base the hardcore. Very good channel, growing. What's in this? Nah. Ade, you're over exaggerating. Okoli is from Hackney. Like me, I've seen him face to face. TV makes him look bigger. No, blood. No, he's big. Remember, well, I'm 5'11. Okoli's 6'4", 6'5". That's big. For me, that's big. Remember, Canelo is 5'8". Like 5'8". Canelo's small. You know how small Canelo is. Do you remember those when Canelo was fighting Mayweather and they did their face to face? Canelo is tiny. So you're right. Maybe I am a bit over exaggerating Okoli's size because Okoli's not like it's not like Okoli's 6'8", but compared to Canelo, I mean, fucking it's David and Goliath. But then again, David did beat Goliath. Peace and love.